Hello, this is Michael Vidalis. Today we are going to answer a fundamental question. Is architecture actually fashion? By definition, fashion is a passive and often widespread habit. We see it in clothing, hairstyles, music, and social behaviors. In regards to the latter, let me just interject here that I also happen to be a doctor of sociology, a doctor of urban sociology to be exact, which for some of our clients, makes me a much better architect by virtue of being sensitive. Anyway, getting back to the topic, architecture is a reflection of the cultural moods of a specific moment, a particular time. The key word here is transient. The term itself implies novelty, something that arrives, peaks, and then fades away. By its very nature, fashion has a limited artistic expression. Fashion has an expiration date. While it can be cyclical, it is inherently temporary. Again, by virtue of its expiration date. The real divide between architecture and fashion comes down to two conflicts, comes down to two things. The collective versus the individual identity, and the timeless versus the ephemeral. It can be argued that true architecture is meant to express our collective values and our social legacy. Again, here comes the word social. Paradoxically, lifestyle magazines, TV shows, and even some decorators, interior designers we call them these days, they all seem to treat architecture as if it were a seasonal trend. They focus on the superficial and ignore the essence. By doing so, they commodify architecture and turn it into a consumer good, designed for profit. This fast fashion approach to building relies on low quality materials and a short lifespan. Even worse, it promotes the idea that anyone, a builder, a contractor, or just about anyone else can produce architecture. Let's just focus on the word produce. Architecture as fine art cannot be produced. When you treat architecture as production, it's very superficial. That's why we at Vidalis Architects, we do embrace the philosophy of crafting, crafting memorable architecture. We do not produce architecture, we craft memorable architecture. And that's a key point here. If architecture were just a passing social habit, it wouldn't be classified as a fine art. we wouldn't still be in awe of timeless masterpieces centuries later. Architecture is built for durability and longevity, and it has to be. You don't invest millions into a project just for it to have a 5-year shelf life. No sane real estate investor would ever do that. Think about the flood of dark gray apartment buildings that we have seen the last 5 or so years. In a climate that's warm, this is an utterly illogical trend, simply because within a decade, all these building owners will be forced to repaint their buildings at a high cost. The architecture of those builders began and ended with a color choice. So superficial. Fortunately, we are seeing a return to white, a choice that's more sculptural, environmental, and practical. That is not to say that white cannot be instrumentalized, cannot be used to treat architecture as fashion. Thankfully, architecture is becoming fashionable again, fashionable within quotes, for the right way. We are seeing many more projects being fully designed and managed by architects. When an architect has total control, the result stands out aesthetically, and we see qualitative as well as quantitative excellence. And most importantly, the project stands the test of time. I'll be diving deeper into these topics. If you value design, especially architectural design that lasts, and similar topics, we would appreciate if you would like this video and perhaps consider subscribing. We do make it a point to respond to every comment from all of us at Vidalis Architects and from me personally. Built for the ages.